It is a chilly Mother's Day in the Mile High City as the Rockies not only conclude this 4-game set with the Brewers, they conclude a 6-game homestand, and then it's out on another trek out west. They'll go for 9 games. It's the Rockies at 22-18, and John Gray making his way to the hill against a Brewers club that is off to a 23-17 start. We're at the quarter post also. 5% into the season. Today, game number 41. And the leadoff hitter this afternoon for the Brewers will be Christian Yelich, and he's also moved to center field, a place where he's very comfortable playing. Here's the rest of the Southwest batting order this day for Craig Counsell. Jesus Aguilar will slide up to the 2 spot. Ryan Braun's been in there all 4 games. Travis Shaw has had a pretty solid series against the Rockies. Domingo Santana will be next, then Jonathan Villar, Manny Pena. Tyler Saladino is getting the start at shortstop. He'll bat 8th in front of the rookie making his big league debut, Freddie Peralta. Well, you know John Gray's arsenal. He's one of the hardest throwers in the game, and he also has one of the finest sliders in baseball.
And he's also working on a 13-inning scoreless streak, which is the 5th longest in the National League and the longest by a Rocky this year. Fastball, slider, curveball, and the decrease in velocity on the slider, even though it's 89 miles an hour, has been the key for John in this current 3-game winning streak. Because his first 5 starts, guys were hitting .341 with 4 extra base hits against the slider. The last 3, .071 with 0 extra base hits.
Yeah, and usually when we talk about a decrease in velocity in any pitch, particularly usually the fastball, where the alarm bells go off. But as you pointed out, this is by design. He's holding it a little further back in his hand, a little more friction coming out, which slows the baseball down, gets a little more break on it. So here's Christian Yelich on this cloudy Mother's Day starting out, and the first pitch is not called a strike, though it looked like it had the top of the zone. Ball 1 on Yelich. And pitch number 2 is a slider a little bit low. So it's 2-0 on Yelich. Rockies won in shutout fashion yesterday, 4-0 over Milwaukee to snap a little 3-game slide. It's already their 5th shutout of the year.
A second at Coors Field.
Now help me out. I'm looking at Teddy Barrett, good man, good umpire. He's got the his mask is pink, and I don't remember seeing that in years past.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a first for me. That's pretty cool, Teddy.
It's inside, 3-1. I thought we'd seen Yelich before leading off with Miami, and either I have a good memory or I was making it up, but it did happen back in 2015. Doug's looking at me, so you're probably making it up.
And or both.
Yeah. This ball's pretty well hit to left field. And it is off the very top of the wall. Dahl will get it back in, and it's a leadoff double. That thing nearly carried out of the ballpark.
Yeah, it did. Christian Yelich taking the ball the opposite way on the 3-1 pitch. 4-seamer on the Subaru Supermo gets it extended and right on the barrel of the bat. For a second, David thought he might have a play on it. That came within a foot and a half of reaching that wall and going over the top of it. Leadoff double for Christian. 5th this year.
That'll bring up Jesus Aguilar. He's playing at first base every day in the absence of Eric Thames, and I don't know if he's just going to if they're just going to throw Thames right back in there. I'm sure they'll use some sort of platoon, but this guy, the way he has swung the bat, he's got to play. You
got to keep him in there. 342 average, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, hitting over 340 while he is starting. So Aguilar is saying, wait, don't forget about me.
Good pickup by Tony. Those middle infield instincts take over. So even without Thames, they've had great production from the first base spot, and he is largely responsible. Their slugging percentage, OPS 2nd in the National League.
last night they were able to trot Ryan Braun over there for a while and put Aguilar at third. But I don't think he's going to be taking Travis Shaw's spot at third.
Yep, Shaw's got to play. Temperature 58 degrees to start the day, though with a little bit of a breeze feels chillier than that. 1-1, and that's hit late and foul down the right field line.
Well, last night the Brewers were 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. For the Rockies, that was the 12th time in their club history that the opposing team had 11 or more guys in scoring position and didn't allow a hit. As you see, the 5th time at home.
Six and a third from Kyle Freeland last night, a shutout baseball. Well, just like we were bragging on John Gray being on a roll, Kyle Freeland is on a roll as well. The last 4 for Freeland, the record's 3-1, but the ERA is 1.65. And the whip is 0.91, which is just outstanding. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Aguilar swings and misses at that slider that disappeared. 1 out as we check the defense for the Rockies this afternoon. Tony Walters has kind of been the caddy of late for John Gray. 4 straight starts. He's been behind the plate for John, and overall this year, when he catches Gray, he has an ERA, Gray does, of 1.65.
And so even though, you know, Bud's not going to say he's his personal catcher, I don't think he wants to put that sort of label on it. But when you have those kind of numbers, I mean, it's almost automatic that you're going to pair the two together. Like a fine wine, you know, you're going to put it with some nice cheese.
You really do. I think, you know, maybe it'd be different if you had like a Buster Posey behind the plate and Tony was backing up Buster. And this is not a slight at all on Chris Iannetta, but you know, Chris is the #1 guy, but they're sharing it because of Tony's great ability defensively.
Well, and then if you have that comfort level and you've got to play your backup guy, you know, once or twice a week, why not pair him with his guy so he doesn't have to learn a new pitcher all the time?
Yeah.
I think that
just makes a ton of sense.
Right. It makes it much easier for Tony.
(0-1) on Braun. And Braun hits it off the end of the bat. Braun 1 for 10 in the series. He started at several different spots, both corner outfield spots, playing a little first base this year, and when they play an American League club in an American League park, he would be a prime candidate to DH. He's done that already a couple times. (0-2) and another strikeout.
Well, both strikeouts have come on the slider. John has found that point that feels good on the release of the Subaru Supermo, and that one probably wasn't as well located as he wanted, up too much, but when you're ahead on the count 0-2, you know, the odds are in your favor.
So Yelich still standing at second base with Travis Shaw coming to the plate. Shaw 6 for 12, a home run in the series. Rockies put a shift on in the stories right up the middle, and DJ is about 25-30 feet on the outfield grass. And he flips in a breaking ball for a strike.
Like that.
Yeah.
They give me over curveball first pitch.
Open up the count with it.
Yeah, John will throw that about 15% of the time.
They go up, and that was perfectly located. So often, Huey, when you see the catcher, and Tony, I say goes into his old Yogi Berra, stance, and the pitch is 10 feet high, and it's not fooling anybody.
No,
I mean, you'd have to have Shaq up there to think about swinging,
well,
right?
even Shaq would think it was too high.
Yeah, that's too high.
Yeah, so I'm going to let it go.
So it's a complete wasted pitch.
Yeah.
Not a waste pitch, a wasted pitch in my mind. There's a difference, right?
Yeah, that one was not wasted.
Here's the 0-2 on Shaw. To get the slider on the back door. 1-2.
Got around that one a little too much. Spun out of that delivery.
Two outs, runner at second. 1-2 on Travis Shaw. Did not induce a swing there. See, those are good pitcher pitches given the count.
Yeah, 1-2 count. Close enough, but not too close.
And the old, adjective that's always used to describe a ball that's hit out of the ballpark, oh, is a mistake. Well, you don't want to make a mistake when you're ahead. So if you're going to miss, just miss away. And now he gets a strikeout on the slider. That's great pitching. John Gray gives up the leadoff double to Yelich. Not a problem. He strikes out Aguilar, Braun, and Shaw in succession. Terrific start for Big John. Take a look at the Rockies lineup this afternoon for Buddy Black as the Rockies look to depart with a happy flight out west to San Diego. David Dahl bats second. Charlie's going to bat third, so they kind of reconfigured things a little bit up top. Charlie's been batting behind DJ LeMahieu. Nolan will bat cleanup. Then Cargo, Trevor Story's been the hitting star not only last night but throughout this homestand. Desmond Walters and Gray against the kid making his major league debut, 21-year-old Freddie Peralta.
And those are the numbers down in Colorado Springs. So he's used to pitching at altitude, but this is the big leagues with altitude. Fastball, slider, occasional changeup. He will crossfire, meaning he'll step more towards third, come around it, a little bit of a swinging gait. Not too bad for Peralta.
Run on that fastball. It's outside, 1-0.
Time now for the win, brought to you by Pizza Ranch. And how about a Brew Crew flat debut? Peralta is the 8th opposing pitcher to make his major league debut at Coors Field. The last guy to start and win was Anthony Bass back on June 13, 2011.
With the Padres. And that thing cut a lot, way out of the zone, so it's 3-0. You remember making your debut. It was not on the mound, fortunately for your teammates behind you. But
Yeah, but it's still that it doesn't matter where it is.
You're nervous.
You're nervous.
Yeah, and that's what this kid's going through.
It's really hard. You can't hardly spit because your mouth's so dry.
3-0. And that's on the outside corner, so it's 3-1 on DJ.
Well, and he also has his mom and dad in the stands and his girlfriend. First time they've ever seen him pitch, you know, his parents.
Yeah, he's from the Dominican Republic. 3-1. Good swing from DJ. As you can see, it's not overwhelming stuff. I mean, he's not the typical power guy that you see with virtually every young arm that gets to the big leagues.
No, but he had 46 strikeouts in 34 2/3 innings down at AAA, and those 46 strikeouts led the PCL.
He's finding a way to get it done. And at the bottom of the zone, strike 3.
Clearly in the Subaru strike zone. The way DJ lifted his arms tells me he was looking away. That was straight four-seamer in the Subaru Supermo. Caught the knees.
So that'll bring up David Dahl with 1 out. Dahl 1 for 4 in the series, including a walk. He was not in the lineup last night. When Dahl starts, he hits. He's had 11 starts. And down the line. Now it's going to be a foot race. And Aguilar gets it to Peralta in front of Dahl. That's a great play by Aguilar.
Right down the line. Big fella. Some quick feet. But he just knocks it down. It comes out of his glove. He's lucky that it just stayed there, but from his backside makes a strong throw to the pitcher. Covering the bag. I mean, that just snuck away from him, but on the money with the throw.
Well, that helps out a young guy who's dealing with a lot of nerves. I was saying with Dahl, he's hit in 10 of his first 11 starts this year. That's a first pitch strike to Blackman. That's inside. So yesterday, the oddest thing occurred in the baseball game. DJ LeMahieu and Charlie Blackman both went hitless. They were 0 for 8 combined, and the Rockies won. It got me thinking, how many times that happened this year? That was the 3rd time. The other 2 times were losses.
Those guys are so consistent in what they do. A couple strikeouts between the 2 of them, too.
Way inside, 2-2. I'm sure they sprinted to the lineup card today in the clubhouse to make sure they were in it. Two and two on Charlie. He held up, checked it at 3rd with Will Little. Charlie trying to have a big day always, but it's been a quiet homestand for him, just 4 for 20. 11 home runs, among the league leaders in that department. 10, as you know, out on the road. (3-2) fouled off. Chase Anderson was placed on the disabled list today. Had a little stomach situation going on. That's why he didn't start last night. Suter started in his stead.
Really, it comes down to just a few days because they can retroactive it to the last time he pitched. So it's just kind of skipping 1 start. That's what it amounts to.
Swung on and missed. The Rockies go quietly. 2 strikeouts for Freddie Peralta in the first. And that is his family who's made their way from the Dominican. That's awesome.
all day long, we're going to be celebrating Mother's Day and the amazing women who raised the men on the field today. One of those, Debbie Walters, the mom of Tony Walters. I was able to talk to Tony today about his mom's influence on his baseball career, and she had a lot of influence, as he tells us.
She brought me to all my practices, and she'd wait there and late at night, cold nights, just watching practices. Came to all my Little League games. I don't think she didn't miss a ton of games, so it's weird not seeing her face out in the stands, but always thinking of her, and I know she's thinking of me.
Now they will see each other in San Francisco next week. Another thing Tony said about his mom was how she taught him to balance baseball and life. That was the biggest takeaway he had from her, Drew.
I'll tell you what, having a baseball family of my own and knowing what my wife does on a day-to-day basis, as she likes to say, she sees more than 200 games a year, and as much as she loves the Rockies, there's only a handful that are Rockies games.
Right. It's all the youth baseball games,
That's
all
right.
the high school, the summer ball. Yeah, they're everything. So thank you to all the moms. Thank you to my wife, mother-in-law, and my daughter, who now has a daughter. So
You up in Cheyenne, there's
yep,
4 generations.
4 generations up in Cheyenne.
That's pretty cool. So a base hit by Domingo Santana just off the edge of the glove of Trevor Story. This is Jonathan VR. Got to shorten up a little bit more with a guy like VR because he can really run.
He can. He came in last night in a double switch. Was 0 for 1, had a walk and a strikeout, pinch hit the day before.
One ball, one strike. Leadoff double by Christian Yelich to start the game. Turned out to be a non-issue for John Gray as he struck out Aguilar, Braun, and Shaw in succession, and now he's going to be out of the stretch here with Santana at first. Owen's crept up on the grass, which I know when you were playing, you'd be thinking this is a bunt situation with VR.
Well, and with his speed too, you can't just give him the freebie. So you play even with the grass. You might stay there, or you might just sneak back a couple steps as the pitch is coming to the plate.
That's a strike. Remember a couple years ago, you roll into Milwaukee and we were talking a lot about Jonathan VR. He played 156 games, almost 600 at bats, batted .285, hit 19 home runs, stole 62 bases.
That's what I remember about VR. So yeah, he had some power, but it was the bases he could steal.
And he's not going to steal any bases here. He's gone. That's strikeout number 4 for the Gray Wolf. Hey, reminder, join the conversation today or any day. Send us your thoughts, comments, photos. Use Twitter and include the hashtag Toyota Talk. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the catcher Manny Pena, who will forever be unwelcome in Denver after hitting that 2-run home run to tie up the game on Friday night.
That was his
Wade Davis.
Yeah, that was his first game tying or go ahead home run in the 9th inning or later in his career.
In opposite field.
But Wade said afterwards it was a bad pitch. I was trying to go down and away and it just stayed up.
But in Wade, you know, is always going to stand up on the rare occasions that he has a tough outing. But here's the pitch, and to the point that Wade was making, yeah, it probably got a little too much of the plate and it wasn't down. But all pitchers will tell you in that situation, if I'm going to get beat with a home run, it's going to have to be opposite field. So you have to tip your cap to Pena.
Yeah, you do, and he beat you opposite way. It's not like you made a mistake in. He pulled it for a home run right down the line. Then with 371 feet, hitting the top of the auxiliary scoreboard, all of that. But he put a good swing on a pitch that was up. That's baseball. It was heartbreaking, no doubt about it. That was a rough night. But I think what yesterday, what it showed from this ball club is how resilient they are.
Yeah, and players learn that early, especially when you have a good club like the Rockies do. And they bounce back nicely. Good block by Tony. 2 balls and a strike on Pena. Check on Domingo Santana at first.
Santana 1 for 2 stealing bases. That's just to keep him honest over there.
And that locked up Pena. It's right there. 2-2. I think all the gear now, there's belts that are pink, the catcher's gear. We talked about Teddy Barrett's mask. This ball's lined to center field, and it's going to get down. Blackman will spin and fire in the right direction. That's second base to make sure Pena can't move up. So you keep the double play in order, and it's first and third with 1 out.
Pena's being a pest. Came in to the series hitting 167. And then Charlie able to cut this off, throw it back to second. So he's still just 1 pitch away from getting it out of it with the double play.
Tyler Saladino, who we've seen off the bench a couple times in this series, getting the start at shortstop for Orlando Arcia. So Saladino for Arcia today. He's batting in front of the pitcher Peralta. Good pitch. I was talking about all the gear, and Major League Baseball does a terrific job of making that gear, some of it, available, and it goes to breast cancer awareness.
Some will be auctioned off.
Yeah.
After this weekend.
A lot of the gear will be autographed, and they'll raise a ton of money. And as the husband of a breast cancer survivor, that hits close to home. So
well, I know the guys, you're talking to them today in the locker room, they're pulling their cleats out and their batting gloves, and it was, they felt that special connection. I mean, not only did they get cool looking gear,
yep,
but they also know the significance, how the honor today of wearing the pink, what it means.
Oh, 2. Saladino 3 at bats in the series. Guy does have a hit. He's hitting .295 down in Colorado Springs. Came from the White Sox earlier in the year, and that's chopped foul.
Saladino that kept that inning alive on Friday night. There was 2 outs. Kane was at first, and then Saladino had the base hit.
Two and 2. John is chasing a strikeout here without question, because you don't want the ball in play with the runner at third. Double play is not guaranteed. All of those reasons, and you have the luxury of the pitcher behind him.
And a young pitcher at that, just 21 years of age.
2-2, and this will get a run home, at least. In fact, it'll be a ground rule double, which is a break because Pena would have scored.
John's upset with himself for that pitch.
That ends the scoreless streak for John Gray at 14 innings.
Well, he's upset because you had 2 strikes on him, 0-2. And then you wanted the slider on the Subaru Supermo, and not even close to where he wanted it located. It ends up belt high. Did catch a break that it bounced in the stands, because if that kisses off the wall, Pena might score as well.
Saladino's had an impact on this series. 2 for 4 off the bench. You said prolonging that inning on Friday. Ultimately an 11-10 loss for the Rockies, now giving them an early lead. Peralta swings and misses, 0-1. Shattered bat. Desmond comes and gets the baseball and then does the wise thing. And we'll get in the running lane so he doesn't have to throw the baseball. But you're not out of the woods yet, because that's why that hit by Saladino was so huge. If you get Saladino, there's 2 outs, you're dealing with the pitcher, you probably stay in a situation where Milwaukee does not score. But now you have 2 in scoring position for a very accomplished hitter from the left side, and Christian Yelich.
And who's also already doubled in the game in his first at bat.
When pitching coaches talk about stressful pitches versus, just ordinary pitches, these are stressful pitches. This is a situation where John makes a mistake. It's very quickly 3-0.
The other thing too is you'll hear pitching coaches and managers say, well, it wasn't necessarily the choice of pitch, because I thought it was the right pitch to throw the slider to Saladino. It was the location of that pitch.
Yeah, the execution of it. This is a base hit to left. Saladino around third. Throw toward the plate. Not going to get him. And Yelich moves up. And just as we were hoping did not occur, Yelich drives in 2, and it's 3-0 Milwaukee.
And compound that with a bad throw from David Dahl in left field, not hitting the cutoff man, allows Yelich to get to second. Well, that's a couple times now to Yelich that John has not put the fastball down. He's left it belt high. So watch the throw though from David. You got to get this ball head high to Nolan. You can't make that throw all the way in the air. If you get it head high, it skips one time, but the other thing it does is it keeps Yelich from going to second base. If it's head high, he'll probably stop.
The only time you can do that, and outfielders practice it, as you well know, Huey, is if a tag situation with the runner on third and there's nobody else on.
Yeah, or it's real late in the ball game.
Right, where it's a winning run.
It's a winning run, yeah. 7th, 8th, 9th inning where you'll take that gamble.
Steve Foster's conference is done, and Jesus Aguilar steps up. Well, for the kid Peralta, everything's going his way. Got a break in the first inning. Got a good defensive play by Aguilar, is at the plate now to prevent maybe a double for David Dahl. And his club has gotten 3 runs for him against John Gray. Foul ground. Nolan will make the catch, and that'll end the inning. 3 runs on 4 hits for Milwaukee in the second. Work to do for the Rockies. Challenge question. Go to AT Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. We'll show you the results during the post-game show. What did you get your mom on Mother's Day? A card, flowers, brunch? I took her to a Rockies game. Or maybe all of the above. Nolan Arenado in inning number 2 will face Freddie Peralta, 21-year-old, at a 1-2-3 first, including a couple of strikeouts.
Well, he came back in the first batter to DJ down in the count 3-0. Came back and struck him out. Now he's got a 3-0 lead.
One and one. Nolan coming off his first 300 season. Hit 309 last year. Comes into the ball game this afternoon on May the 13th, hitting 315. Every year his average has gone up since he debuted in 2013 at 267. I'll show you the illustration of the last 5 years, the gaudy numbers. And this year, I would venture to say that the average has a good chance, maybe even going up from 309, which is, it's hard to do when you start moving over 300 to keep increasing it. And one of the reasons why, maybe the main reason, is he's walking at a higher rate than he ever has. 2-1, 2-2.
Well, just on this 22-game consecutive streak that he has reaching base, he's walked 14 times during that streak.
A few years ago, he was really hard to walk. He's so aggressive.
That's why his on-base percentage is .409 this year.
2-2, and he didn't pick up Peralta, so 3 of the first 4 have struck out against Peralta. He doesn't throw hard, the ball cuts, and there's a lot of stuff going on in front of his arm slot, the release point, the window you're trying to find the baseball, isn't it?
Yeah, and then when he crossfires too, that's the other component of all of his delivery. But when a guy throws 89 to 91, 92, you're thinking, well, he's not going to have a high strikeout total. Now, 46 strikeouts and 34 2/3 down in the PCL was nothing to sneeze at for sure.
It gets your attention. Big swing from Cargo, no baseball, 0-1. Cargo was in the original lineup yesterday, and then when Anderson had to be scratched, and they went to the Harvard grad Suter, who throws from the left side, but he reconfigured his lineup, took Cargo out of there. 1-1. Last we saw Cargo was on Friday night. He had a good ball game. Single, a home run to the opposite field, and a walk. 2 for 5 on base 3 times.
That was a good sign too the other night with that home run. He took it to left field. Not going the heavy shift with Cargo.
And that's now 4 strikeouts in the first 5 hitters for Peralta. This league's no different than the PCL, I guess, huh?
Still early.
Still real early. Built for Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Trevor Story was built for baseball. Last night he was a one-man wrecking crew. He drove in 4, 2 homers, and a run-scoring double. And the Rockies won 40-0. So you may be wondering, how often does that happen where a guy drives in all the runs in a Rockies victory, and it's at least with a couple of home runs? It doesn't happen real frequently. We'll show you in a moment. 1-0 on Trevor. It's a strike, 1-1. It happened last September. Cargo had a great September, and he had a big day against his former employers, the Arizona Diamondbacks. A couple home runs, 4 driven in. And those were all the runs for the Rockies. But the best was when the Giambino.
That was at Citizens Bank Park.
3 bombs. I'll never forget it at the bank, and he drove in 7 runs in a 7-1 Rockies victory for the big man.
And remember that game? It rained. It rained. It rained the whole game. The raindrops were falling on the head, and baseballs were falling on people's heads out in the stands.
That was a throwback game for Giambi. I mean, it was a rare day that he would start. He's at first base, and he'd tell you, I'm just trying to drive in more than I let in, right? Boy,
he did that night.
Yeah, he did. He was so much fun to be around. And look at this. Peralta strikes out the side after fanning 2 in the first. Rockies down 3-0 early. Chilly day on this Mother's Day at the ballpark. John Gray looking for a quick and efficient inning. He's got Ryan Braun up there. He struck him out his first time. Rockies down 3-0 with Jeff Houston and Taylor McGregor. I'm Drew Goodman. John taking his time. Here's the 0-1, and it's a curveball that hung up in the zone, but Braun was out front a little bit, so it's a 2-strike count on Braun. I don't know if the Brewers are the team you want to invite on Mother's Day, Huey.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not the team you want to have on Mother's Day. They are 32-19 all-time on Mom's Day. That is the best mark in Major League Baseball. That's why Craig Counsell took the job a few years ago. And Braun feebly swings at that pitch. He was badly fooled. And then a strikeout number 5 for Gray. That'll bring up Travis Shaw. He got him his first time.
Struck Shaw out on the curveball.
The problem with the Brewers is they give it all back on Father's Day. They're 32-19 all time on Mom's Day, right? We've established that.
Yeah.
And then on Father's Day, you know, a month later, they're 19-32, the converse. So, boy, this was lost to right center field. Second deck, and now it's 4-0. Second home run of the series for Shaw, his 9th of the season. That was a bomb.
Well, both of his home runs in this series have gone to the second deck. He swung 3-0 the other night to hit a home run. This time he swings 0-0. Subaru Supermo.
There's been a theme with the pitches we've seen today where there's damage done. Remember, we were describing John's outing, really the last few outings, either really down or up above the hands.
Not in between.
And he's in between today,
yeah,
isn't he?
He's in between because a lot of the ones that are getting hit are right at the belt, or right, maybe mid-thigh.
That was a quality strike there. Domingo Santana had a single and scored last inning. Rockies are digging themselves a pretty significant hole, especially with his kids throwing right now.
Well, and Milwaukee with their bullpen, they're 19-4 when scoring first.
And their bullpen, the plus side of their bullpen's well rested.
Yeah, after last night, they didn't use any of their big guns out there, like Jeffress or Hader, Corey Knebel.
2-1 on Santana. And that slider's in the dirt. 3-1. This isn't a shocker, but all of the home runs for Shaw, all 9 of them have come against right-handed pitching.
Harper's a leader in that category. He has 10 against righties. How about Ozzie Albies?
We keep talking about him. Kid, if this continues for another month or so, is going to be an all-star. So a 1-out walk, that's so unusual for Gray. Came into the ballgame with 49 strikeouts, 11 walks, almost a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is just extraordinary for a starting pitcher.
And a power starting pitcher.
Yeah, I think that's an even better way of describing it, Huey. You're right. Jonathan VR at the plate. Just a little bit off. That home run, 452 feet. Came off the bat at 109 miles an hour. This gets away for a moment. Desiel chase it down.
Santana got hurt as he was going back to the bag. I think that's why he didn't take off. See this ankle?
Did the ball hit him, or?
I was looking at his ankle to see if he turned it over.
That's a shot to left field, the base hit. That's 7 hits now against Gray here in 2 1/3. And Steve Foster.
No,
this is Buddy. This is Buddy coming out.
He might push all the infielders back.
Yeah, this is the boss coming out. It's all guesswork, but Huey, put that old Major League cap of yours on. What do you think?
I think he's saying this is nothing about mechanics. This is nothing about execution of pitches. This is about let's go type of message. However it's going to be delivered. Every once in a while you need that the dad in you to come out. Say, okay, son, enough's enough. I think that's what that message was. Because if it's mechanics, I think Steve Foster goes out there. This is a directive from the top.
Well, sometimes when you're frustrated, you want to do something about it as opposed to just sending one of your top lieutenants out. And that's why Buddy will do that periodically. More managers do that. We've seen over the last half-dozen years than certainly when you played.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Manager came out, he was making a pitching change.
That's the only time he came out.
Strike 1 on Pena, who's hurt the Rockies in this series. He had a single in the 2nd inning. Ripped at the center field.
On that Friday night when he had the 2 hits, that was his first multi-hit game in over a month. April 2nd.
Rolled foul. Sports are never played on paper. When you looked at this matchup, you got a kid who's 21 making his debut against John Gray, who's been on such a great roll his last 3 games. All victories, 20 innings. He'd allowed just 10 hits. The league was hitting 147 against him his last 3 ball games. Early on, it's been all Milwaukee. The key part of that phrase is it's early.
Yes.
Top of the 3rd inning.
And a team that will strike out too. 348 strikeouts as a club coming into today's game.
Yeah, it really looked like a good matchup. And John's been good in the afternoon. Just laboring, not good tempo right now. 1-2. And he froze him there with the breaking ball. So Pena's gone on the curveball, and that is strikeout number 6. That'll bring up Saladino. Saladino almost hit one out his last time up. Hit it about 410 feet, and it took a bounce over the center field wall. One scoring ground rule double.
Yeah, and he had the hit of this game early on.
The backbreaker, yep.
Yeah, because he had him down 0-2. He works it back to 2-2. He hits the hanger out for a double.
It allowed Yelich to hit in the second inning, and Yelich came through with a 2-run single. But you could have avoided Yelich had you been able to get Saladino, and as you were describing, he was ahead of him. Brewers been tough on the Rockies at Coors Field, just like the Rockies have been tough on the Brewers at Miller Park. Council's team has won 10 of their last 15 here in Lodo. 0-1. Two strikes on Saladino. And that is roped and caught by Trevor Story. That saved a run. Made a couple of tremendous defensive plays this week. As we've been talking about his offense all week long. This one definitely saved a run. 4-0 Brewers.
Nothing Brewers in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's Freddie Peralta, who is joined by his parents, Octavia and Pedro Peralta, who came to Colorado to watch him pitch for the Sky Sox down in Colorado Springs. He was scheduled to go last night, and his parents had never seen him play pro ball. They were so excited yesterday to get to the park to watch him warm up, only he didn't come out to warm up, so they grew concerned, thinking something was wrong. But then they got a phone call from Peralta saying, "I'm not hurt. I'm actually going to be making my big league debut tomorrow at Coors Field." Everybody was just overwhelmed with emotion, in particular because had they not by coincidence been in Colorado to watch him play for the Sky Sox, they probably would have missed his major league debut, because where they're at in the Dominican is a long way from Colorado. So super special moment for Peralta and his family, as this is the first pro ball game they've ever seen him play. It's his major league debut, and it's Mother's Day, Drew.
I love that whole story, Taylor. 2-0 right now on Desmond, fouls it off. I love the story because think about this. You go, as Taylor described, thinking you're going to see your kid. That's great. Listen, he's 21. He's in AAA. That's already unbelievable.
Yes.
And he doesn't come out. And they're like, "What's the concern?" "Hey, we're going to go. You know what? We'll catch a big league game, and our son will be involved."
Why not?
That's
and it's
awesome.
Just down the road too.
Yeah, just
it's not like you have to hop another flight to get there.
Yeah, they may not have even realized that. They've been wondering, hey, can we get to wherever this ball game's going to take place? I'm sure the folks on Milwaukee side said, "Don't worry, it's less than an hour up the road."
Got you covered.
2 balls and a strike on Ian Desmond. 7, 8, 9. The Rockies looking to figure out young Freddie Peralta. Doing a lot of that. Peralta has 5 strikeouts of the 6 hitters he's faced already. That just missed inside. 3-2.
Only inside of the strike zone.
Rockies' last 2 games have swung it better. I know only, I put that in quotations, 4 runs last night. Story leading the way. But the last 2 ball games, of course, they had the breakout on Friday, 10 runs, but in a loss, 325 average. This is in the air to right field. Santana makes the catch, and that'll bring up Walters.
Catcher number 14, Tony Walters.
Chris Iannetta has caught the last 2. Chris had a home run on Friday, couple of hits last night.
Last night for Chris, and the single and the scorching double down the line that just caught the line, kicked up some paint.
You can't say kicked up chalk, right?
No, and that's what I started to say, but then it was like, no, we don't use the lime or the chalk anymore. Like, that would have really dated me. So now it's all paint.
What else from your era, that bygone era of yesteryear? What is missing from the game that was commonplace when you played?
Tight pants.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about, and Tony was actually the one who brought it up when he was standing next to Mike Trout. This is a soft liner that's not handled somehow by Shaw. That's weird. That's easy play.
Yeah, it was. Shaw's pretty sure-handed, just 2 errors on the season. He just whiffed on it.
He just whiffed on it. You're right.
That's all he did. Playing his day on the Subaru Supermo.
So the Rockies have their first base runner. But Tony was talking about how big Mike Trout is. And it's harder to tell for folks at home because guys wear such baggy uniforms now.
That's why I said
Mike Trout's 240 pounds. Back in your day, he'd look like Bo Jackson.
Well, and Bo
and Bo looked like Bo Jackson back in your days.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't rip out of those pants in his uniform when he was running.
Well, I've heard you describe this, and another middle infielder I remember talking to about Bo Jackson said the exact same thing that you've told me many times.
It's like a freight train.
You could hear him coming.
Yes. He took one step. If he was at first base and there was a ball on the ground, you could hear him. Literally, the earth was shaking as he was running.
And you were shaking,
and I was
all
shaking
other middle infielders.
because I was like, because there weren't the rules in place that there are now. You get my drift?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean,
that it didn't matter.
He would go Hal McRae
yeah,
on you.
if you were on the dirt, he was trying to get you. So it was give me the ball, please, so I can get rid of it and run away.
Yeah, the guys you don't want bearing down on you.
He and Kirk Gibson were the two guys that scared the living daylights out of me.
They're both guys with football backgrounds. Of course, you know, Bo, a legendary football player, but Gray draws a walk, so maybe chink in the armor after that error by Shaw. 2 on now for DJ. See if the Rockies can take advantage of it. Very quickly, Kirk Gibson was an All-American wideout at Michigan State.
Yeah, but they weren't going in softly in the second to try to break up a double play.
The greatest, though, and it would be so far from legal now, was Hal McRae.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Folks, if you're at home right now, grab your phone, because I know it's in your hand, and look up on YouTube, Hal McRae, Willie Randolph breaking up the double play. Tell me what that looks like. It's a pitch that struck DJ out his first time. Pitch on the inside corner on a 3-2 delivery. Betting on DJ here, round 2.
Had a chance to see him.
Heavy shade toward the off gap. And that's on the outside corner. Good pitch. You can see on the Subaru strike zone.
Both of those. DJ's trying to collect himself, saying, okay, I saw one in, saw one out. And you have no book on this guy.
Oh, 2. Pretty good example of why he's such a good 2-strike hitter there. That was 93 in on the hands, and he let it travel to defend the off-speed pitch.
It's the hardest thing to do when you're a hitter with 2 strikes, let it travel, because nobody likes to get beat. Nobody looks to get embarrassed. If you let it travel, then you see the ball longer. I mean, that's obvious, but you give yourself a better chance on off-speed pitches.
How quick can you deliver the barrel?
Yeah.
Another 0-2, and that is going to be strike 3. DJ couldn't hold up that time. 6 strikeouts, 2 outs. See if Dahl can pick up LeMahieu. Fans, if the Rockies score 7 runs or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell.
Peralta in AAA averages almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched.
He's deceptive.
He is.
You can just tell. Guys aren't picking him up early. And I think a lot of it has to do with that left arm. The glove comes up, the arm comes way up, and you're up there
trying to peek underneath that. Where's the window? It's a challenge. I mean, hitting's hard enough as it is.
You said at the top of the broadcast, you know, without a lot of knowledge on Peralta, you go back to, hey, see it and hit it. Well, they're having trouble seeing it.
Let alone hitting it.
Yes. 2-0 on Dahl. Walters at second. Reached on an error. Gray walked. He's at first. 3-0 with Blackman on deck.
Go back to his delivery. We're going to freeze it at the point Drew is talking about, where the glove is and where you're trying to find the baseball. Okay, so now it's hitting pretty well back there behind him, and then all of a sudden it comes up and it's out of his hand.
Yeah, just walked all on 4 pitches, and now Blackman will come up with the bases drunk.
Well, now you got to do something with this. The first little bit of trouble started with that error at third base by Travis Shaw.
Big Sunday Mother's Day crowd, and they're roaring as they see the bearded one come to the plate. Charlie has had, by his standards, a quiet homestand. Time to put some pizzazz in it.
How aggressive do you get here? I think that's the question for Charlie. Because he just walked a guy on 4 pitches.
Walked the pitcher, 2
walked
hitters
the pitcher.
ago.
But the pitching coach just came out. It's going to probably be a fastball. You see what I'm saying?
And Charlie really is very selective firing at that first pitch.
Yeah,
he's not a guy that. He's certainly not Jeff Francoeur, who's retired now, would always throw it, or Corey Seager.
Yeah, he's around 15–16% swinging at first pitch.
The league, though, when they do swing at the first pitch and put it in play, 326 average. He was swinging. He was thinking like you were, Hewitt.
I think there's certain times that you'll do that, and as we were just referencing a second ago, that Charlie, pretty low first pitch swing percentage.
Highest on the club's Ian Desmond, which is, he'd fit in with the Braves and the Cubs, as aggressive as they are. They average about 35–36% as a team swinging at the first pitch. 0-1, and this is going to get a rise out of the crowd. It's a grand slam if they move the foul pole about 50 feet. That landed in the Mountain Ranch Club.
Yeah, the first set of seats out there.
2 strikes on Charlie.
I think if you're Tony Walters at third, you can get off there and maybe give a false break too to see if you can get the pitcher to flinch. He's way off at third base.
An error and 2 walks. The Rockies still without a hit. They're 1 swing from tying it. One ball, 2 strikes. Slowly hit to third, and Charlie unable to beat it. The Rockies load the bases but do not score, so Peralta works out of it. 4-0 Milwaukee. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By Cheyenne Frontier Days, log on to CFDrodeo.com for the full lineup. And by StubHub, Rockies fans, get your tickets at StubHub, official partner of the Colorado Rockies. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Taylor McGregor as we look at the Ducks enjoying Mother's Day at City Park. Are those geese? Those aren't ducks, those are geese. Canadian geese visiting the States for the weekend. Or the summer. Dougie's shaking his head at me again. Dougie's a lifelong member of the Audubon Society. He's saying, Goodman, you'll never get in, no matter how much money you send.
What do you think about a former park ranger? I mean, Dougie just said he got Lindsay a bird feeder for Mother's Day.
Did you really? Nice. Strong, different, out of the box. Still better take him out to dinner tonight. Freddie Peralta's at the plate. He had his bat blown up his first time up on a ground out to Ian Desmond. Rockies down 4-0, and they've not gotten a hit off this kid. One ball, one strike. Two and one. It's just been a battle for John. Kind of like Chad Bettis the other day. You're going to have starts like this where the command's a little bit off. And for Gray, that's been the situation so far this afternoon. 2-2.
Chad had that up and down night.
Strikeout. Huey, I want you to tell everybody about the Rockies Youth Baseball Camp coming up.
Well, that's because registration is now open for the 2018 Rockies Youth Baseball Camp, and it's for boys and girls age 8 to 13, Drew, so spots are limited. Go to Rockies.com/community today to sign up. You don't want to miss it.
Spots are limited, and you're also saying I'm no longer eligible.
Yes, that's why I said just ages 8 to 13. For you, it's fantasy camp next January, February. That's what's eligible for you.
Yeah, that's my league.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Washington Nationals been helping out the Rockies of late. Washington, so talented, playing really good baseball, and they're winning down in the desert. And Arizona not winning, and now the Rockies beginning play today just 2.5 back of the top spot in the NL West. They'll play one more game actually in that series. That'll be tonight on national television. Rockies in May 7-3. Arizona's 4-7. Everybody else in the division's below 500 in May, other than Colorado. 1-1 on Yelich.
Yeah, Rockies will start off and then go back into the division with 2 games in San Diego, then 4 in San Francisco, and then 3 in LA. I think at times we forget as we look at some of these numbers for the Padres, the D-backs, the Dodgers. You mentioned it. You lose 2 in a row, and you had that heartbreaker from the other night. But what the Rockies have done in the last 10 or 11 games.
Yeah. This is one. You want everyone, obviously, but this is one you really want. You have Gray going against a kid. It's getaway day. The homestand hasn't been great, but you can go, okay, we're 500 in the homestand. We'll get ready to go to California.
Yeah, we'd be 5 games over 500.
The Rockies have a lot of work left to do, trailing 4-0, and again without a hit through the first 3 innings. Yelich has 2 hits, a double off the top of the wall and left, and he was stranded in the first inning because Gray looked sharp. He got the next 3 all via strikeout, but then a 2-run single from Yelich in the second. Christian now 6 for 14 lifetime against Gray. Make it 6 for 15. That's 8 strikeouts for Gray. So he's got the strikeouts coming, but there's been some damage in between.
But it's also come at a cost. Now it's 70 pitches for John. It's a curveball. By my count now, that is 3 of the 8 strikeouts have come against the curveball. The rest on sliders.
2 outs. Aguilar at the plate. And a strike on Jesus. On the ground to short. Story lobs it across to Desmond, and that is the best inning of the day so far for John Gray. Get the bats going. Mother's Day at the ballpark. The Rockies are taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Rockies looking for their first hit against the 21-year-old rookie Freddie Peralta. That's a cool lineup card. Everything pink. So Nolan, Carlos Gonzalez, Trevor Story. Rockies had the bases loaded and 2 outs with Charlie Blackmon at the plate last inning. Charlie hit a 400-foot foul ball down the right field line and then hit a ground ball to the left side, was thrown out by a step by Travis Shaw to end that scoring opportunity. 1 strike on Nolan. And he's behind 0-2. He has not. I don't think he's fouled a pitch off against Peralta. He struck out swinging his first time. And Nolan really chased out of the zone his first time, and that's a strong indication that guys just are not finding the baseball out of his hand.
There you go. Now you got that at least first foul ball out of the way. Talked about Peralta. He doesn't turn 22 until June 4th.
That little cut fastball, and he's worked 88 to 90, but he's also dialed up some 93s and 94s. That last one at 94. Got a little pepper in the arm.
Well, I think there's a little adrenaline in that arm too. It's not what was on the scouting report for him that he could throw that hard.
Aguilar does not have a play. Oh-2. That reminds me of the high school games yesterday. Ball hits the dirt, they throw it out of play.
Or just the exact opposite. They just pick it up and throw it back to the pitcher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, Nolan unable to figure out Peralta. He's done a good job staying away from the right-handed hitters. He has seven strikeouts.
7 strikeouts. Really grip and not too much on the Subaru Supermo as far as any cut on it. That one was four-seamer.
Cargo struck out his first time. Freddie Peralta's 1-strike delivery, and now he's ahead 0-2.
Came from the Mariners in a trade for Adam Lynn. Last year at Double-A, he was 2-5, but he had a 2.26 ERA in 11 games.
You know, in short minor league career, he has a 3-something ERA, so it's not just this year.
Yeah, less hits and innings pitched by a long shot, and then more strikeouts than innings pitched.
Craig Counsell said it when talking about Peralta last night. He said this kid absolutely deserves this opportunity. This isn't like, okay, we need a pitcher.
He's an hour away.
Yeah, he's an hour away. Perfect description. He really has earned the right to be here. 1-2. And another strikeout. This Rockies are perplexed.
Yeah, and it's
they're
frustrating
flummoxed at the plate.
And it's frustrating for the players. They can't pick it up. Well, fans, been Memorial Day weekend at the ballpark and catch the Rockies against the Reds and the Giants. Get your tickets at Rockies.com. So Memorial Day weekend. As it slides into that Monday of Memorial Day, that's when the Giants come in.
Well, the Brewers' record for strikeouts in a major league debut was set in '97. Steve Woodard must have faced him.
I played with him.
Oh, you played with him?
I was in. I was at least on the team. I don't remember if I was in that game, but I was on the team that year.
He struck out 12 in his big league debut. The major league record for strikeouts in a debut, Carl Spooner back in 1922, a game you were not involved in.
22? No, I wasn't.
And J.R. Richard in '71. There's a name. Huey, let me explain something to you, because you're a little older now, much older than I am, and hopefully Manny Pena's all right, and your memory's starting to go. Because when Steve Woodard struck out 12, you were playing first base that day for the Brewers.
I was playing power position.
Yeah, you were batting,
well,
you were batting fourth. Well, at one point in the game, you were due up fourth in that particular inning. All right.
Got it.
You with me?
Got it. I hit 7th that day.
You hit 7th,
yeah.
and you were playing first.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad at least you remembered your teammate.
Right. I do remember Steve. Well, he was cut short. His career was cut short a little bit by an arm injury.
2 strikes on Story. Without a hit so far. First base runner came last inning. Walters reached on a soft little liner that Travis Shaw somehow didn't catch, and then there were a couple of walks. One, two. 2-2. Trevor Story, we learned very early in his career, can do damage. A little about his exploits. Saw him a little bit in the minor leagues. We saw him in spring training for a couple of years. He debuted with the 2 home runs against Zach Greinke. Well, 20 of his 34 hits this year are extra base hits. And another punch out. This is crazy. 9 strikeouts in 4 innings. He's not allowed to hit. Freddie Peralta and his club leading 4-0. And notes are brought to you by All Copy. The Isotopes are third in the PCL. They started slow, but they're up to 19 and 18. And the cousin of one Nolan Arenado is having a great year. Josh Fuente with 30 ribbies. Brian Altapia is at 308. The Tourists, they have such a long relationship with the Rockies. We're pleased to tell you it's going to continue. They signed a 2-year player development contract extension through 2020. Great for the organization, great for Darren Holmes, who makes his all-season home in his longtime residence in Asheville. Grew up there.
And when you develop those relationships between a parent club and an affiliate, you got to hold on to those.
Well, you know, I'm thinking out loud here. The Rockies in AA for years were in Tulsa. Now they're in the Eastern League in Hartford. Swung on and missed. Braun gets blown away. That's 9 strikeouts for John Gray. That'll bring up Travis Shaw, who has a home run and a strikeout today. In the California League, the Rockies moved from Modesto to Lancaster a couple of years ago. AAA, a few years ago, they moved from Colorado Springs to Albuquerque. But the low A club has been Asheville in the Sally League for quite some time now. It's been a great working relationship for the organization.
Well, the other one too is moving from Tri-City to Boise.
Yeah, and then Casper to Grand Junction. And it's not just, you know, if you're wondering, does this happen a lot or is this just the Rockies? It does. There's movement with affiliations throughout.
But then once
baseball.
You find that nice match, that's when you want to lock it down.
And for those that may not know, and I would assume many of you don't, because you know, unless you lived in a city, that's fouled off, unless you lived in a city that had minor league baseball, the salaries of the players are paid for by the parent organization. But all of the, you know, the promotional stuff and the parking and the concessions at that ballpark, that's all run. It's owned by somebody else typically.
Yeah, and all the bats and the balls are provided by the major league club. So they've got a high cost that they incur for all these players. What I do like now, though, in a lot of the low minor league clubs, is they have host families to help some of these kids along. They're making, you know, $800, $900 a month, or maybe even $1,000 a month, trying to find a place to live on that kind of salary. It's tough.
Minor league baseball is great. I mean, you played it. I've had years ago an opportunity to see a handful of minor league games. If you ever get some time, maybe when we have so many Rockies fans. This is on the ground to Nolan. And he'll get Shaw. So many Rockies fans make their way around the country in the summer to follow the club. And maybe if it's a driving vacation, you can catch some minor league games in between because it's a blast. For instance, your oldest, Kyle, is your oldest son, I should say, not your oldest, but Kyle is working in Frederick, Maryland for the Baltimore Orioles as an announcer. He's a play-by-play guy. And you have to wear a lot of hats. But you were telling me, because you showed me the picture, that Kyle was with one of the Jamaican bobsledders. It was a promotion in Frederick.
Yeah, it was Cool Runnings night on Friday night. And last night, Corbin Burnson, who played in Major League, was there.
That's awesome.
You're right. So
you don't get that at the big league.
No, you don't. You don't. You do wear a lot of mini hats, but heck, just go on to the Western Slope. Go to Grand Junction this summer when you're over there. Catch a ball game over there.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I've seen dogs bring out the baseballs to the umpires. I've seen that they go retrieve the bats and bring it back. You'll see some crazy things for sure.
Just about anything goes. Just about. 2-1. St. Paul Saints used to, with Mike Veck, Bill Veck's son, used to, it's Mike, right? Used to bring it to a different level. 3-2. St. Paul Saints, I was out on a trip there.
That's an independent team.
That's an independent league team. They built a stadium, a gorgeous stadium in downtown St. Paul. Some of the colleges use it also, but its number one use is the home of the St. Paul Saints. That's fouled off. Well, an old teammate of yours, Rafael Palmeiro, at a young 53, is playing independent ball with one of his boys, right?
Yeah, one of them, I think, is Patrick, because Preston's playing in Frederick, where Kyle is.
Okay, so he's in affiliated baseball, as we say. 3-2 again, and this ball is clubbed to left, and it is fair. It's going to be a 2-out double for Santana. That is the 8th hit for Milwaukee.
Third time today Santana has reached a single, a walk, and now a double. 5th double of the season. This was a fastball. Tony just start to reach inside.
But again, it's in that happy area.
Yeah.
Thigh high, belt high, where
it's really been
typically thrive.
Yeah, kind of a tale of 2 games for John. When he's made a mistake, it's been a bad mistake in a good hitter spot, but he also has 9 strikeouts.
9 strikeouts, 8 hits allowed. It's a strange line in the 5th. He's going to get out of this, a VR ground ball to DJ. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Milwaukee 4 runs, 8 hits. The Rockies, no runs, no hits.
Life is probably my mom. I mean, she started working when she was 12 years old and pretty much hasn't quit since. She kind of showed me that hard work pays off, and you know, it's something that's invaluable to me. She just always was there. You know, 4 kids, working full time. I mean, it's amazing how she always found a way to get us to where we needed to go. You know, we don't talk on a daily basis, but you know, we're a very tight-knit family.
Well, here's Ian Desmond at the plate. He takes outside ball 1. I think we're going to hear in the clubhouse after, Huey, that this kid was yes, tough to pick up, and the ball cut.
2 dangerous combinations, and he's throwing strikes. I mean, 72 pitches, 43 for strikes. When he started to miss, he's missed for stretches. You know, 7, 8, 9 pitches. He only a couple strikes during that time.
This is up the middle, and it's cut off there by Saladino. That's probably the Rockies' best bid for a hit so far. Desmond retired, and that'll bring up Walters. Fouls this one off. Baltimore had a tussle with Tampa today. The Orioles, it's been an awful year so far, but they got 17 runs today to just 1 for Tampa.
See if a position player threw for Tampa.
Yeah, when you see 17-1, that's the first thing you think of.
Yeah.
Rockies have Harrison Musgrave up in their pen. Gray, for the moment, is in the on-deck circle.
Bingo, Drew.
Got it?
Yep. Johnny Field pitched. Right fielder.
Instead of Johnny Holstaff, they went to Johnny Field, huh?
Yeah. Inning, 1 walk. That was it. 0 ERA.
That is the 10th strikeout. What a debut for Freddie Peralta. Last player to strike out 10+ in a major league debut was the Cincinnati Red star, Matt Harvey. Can we call him a Cincinnati Red star yet?
After 1 game.
Harvey struck out 11 in his Mets debut in 2012. This kid has struck out struck out 10 Rockies in 4 2/3. Here's something else. Historically, the Rockies don't strike out at the same rate at home that they do on the road. Two and one. This is the 39th player used by Milwaukee this year, which is 1 off the major league high for players used thus far in 2018. The Atlanta Braves have used 40. 3-1 on Gray. 3-2. John walked his first time.
Toronto's also used 38 guys. That's a lot of guys. So we're, what, 40 games in, 41 games in today for the Rockies.
And that is strikeout number 11. I'd like to tell you I haven't seen this since, but I don't know if I've seen this before. And his family has to be ecstatic.
time now to say Happy Mother's Day to Teddy Story, Trevor Story's mom. Ryan Spielborg's able to catch up with her this offseason down in Texas, and she told us that the best reward for her is seeing Trevor Story live his childhood dream.
Trevor has always been like, I'm going to do this. He told me when he was in kindergarten that he was going to be a professional baseball player, and I'm like, I hope he can. That'll be so cool. He got the chance, and he made the most of it. So it's really just, even now, you know, this is his 3rd season, and we're like, I still can't believe that's his job. To me, it was just the absolute unreal idea that it really did happen.
So Trevor wearing a Nike sleeve that says Mom on it today. But what I think is so cool is that his mom doesn't take any of this for granted. 3 years into pro ball, and she still thinks it's just as cool as when he was playing childhood ball a few years ago. Drew?
Yeah, you know what, Taylor? When we travel and we see some of these players, you know, parents and significant others with them, it's almost not altogether different, Huey, than when we go to our kids' games, or they're not coaching their kids anymore, but
yeah,
you know, you gather around, you get to know the other families of the, you know, your teammates. This is line to left, and Dahl going to hold Pena to a single. Leadoff base hit for Pena in front of Tyler Saladino. But they have that also. It's just, guess what? All of our kids get to play in the best league there is in the world.
And if we're not there, we can watch them on TV. We can see what's happening. But what a special moment. I know it was for me, being able to share some Mother's Day with my mom when she was still alive, and when they would come to the ballpark, to see the joy on her face when she got to watch me or see people talk to me. Because as a parent, you know, I mean, you want what's best for your kids.
And moms especially, and my wife is the absolute best. And happy Mother's Day, Christy. Happy Mother's Day to Wendy. She wants 2 things. She wants naturally the kids to be happy,
yeah,
and to make sure in between games of the doubleheader they eat something.
And then at night, she's washing the uniform so they don't play in a dirty uniform the next day.
They don't play in a dirty uniform.
Yeah,
we could care less, because that's indicative of, oh, he was diving around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't start the day in a dirty uniform.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. But I mean, just the joy you got yesterday watching Zachy play.
I'll tell you what, that you know, it was. I'll share something out with you and with everybody else. So we're out there for the national anthem, and then right before the national anthem, the starting lineups are announced, and you know how competitive I am. Well, when Zach runs out there behind the plate, I'm glad I had sunglasses on.
Special moments, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it coming, man.
Now look at these guys out here being able to wear some of the pink and honor their moms. We've heard the stories. You know, it's no different, because to them, they're still their little boys.
Yeah, that's what Teddy was saying in the soundbite about Trevor. He was kindergarten, like so many of us said, we want to play in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Well, very few have become Jeff Houston or Trevor Story.
Yeah, and to them, they ride the wave like the players do, maybe even more.
Yeah. And they just want to make sure that they get well fed in between games of the doubleheader.
And their uniforms clean.
Right. This is poked to right, and that's a base hit.
Well, you know what? They don't have to worry about any of that at the big leagues.
Tiny's going to do the laundry.
Tiny or Tyler, they'll get those uniforms clean, and they'll get well fed. Well, now 96 pitches for John Harrison. Musgrave has been getting loose in the Rockies bullpen.
Well, Musgrave's going to face Yelich. I would not think that John will face Yelich for a 4th time, but Peralta's up there bunting.
Well, we've seen this alignment before, where it's going to be a crash at the corners between Nolan and Ian.
Got a catcher running at second.
Yeah, and then Trevor's going to be over in the hole.
Yeah, the Rockies ran the wheel play, so.
But remember what happened last time when they did this, and it was maybe about 3 weeks ago. Ian was not able to get back to first base, and then the pitcher beat him to the bag, so it ended up being a bases loaded situation.
John's got to get to that right side.
Yes, he does, which is really unusual for a pitcher because they're taught most of the time that I've got to get to the third base line.
Stabbed at it. It's also an opportunity when you get that, Huey, to back pick the runner at second.
Especially
that's what Tony
catcher
was looking at right there.
Yeah. Because DJ's already there. You're always looking to back pick on a bunt that's bunted through. Now the Rockies will change it up with 2 strikes. They'll put Trevor over towards second, DJ Moore to first. And then it becomes a read for Nolan at third, and John will break towards the third base line.
Last pitch was number 100. Musgrave's been throwing for a little bit. He's ready. I just keep looking at that scoreboard, Huey, and I'm shaking my head. 4 runs, 10 hits for the Brewers. They have an error. The Rockies have a bunch of bagels up. Slug bunt, and Peralta's gone. 1 out, and we'll see Buddy Black.
Being 101 pitches, up and down day for John.
10 strikeouts.
But that's what I mean, up and down. A couple mistakes, gave up the runs early in the second and third. He's walking off the mound with 10 strikeouts, but he's losing 4-0.
Too many pitches in that middle quadrant, if you will. Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Rockies having a frustrating Mother's Day so far. They have been held hitless by a kid making his major league debut, Freddie Peralta. And Milwaukee got 4 runs against John Gray, and they have 2 on with 1 out in the 6th inning. The Rockies will turn to Harrison Musgrave for the 4th time, and so far, so good for Harrison Musgrave.
Thursday night, I thought it was particularly good. He had 2 innings, had a walk, but other than that, nothing else against Harrison.
Odd line. We don't have the complete line. Hopefully it's just 4 runs against John Gray, and Musgrave's able to put this inning down as he faces Christian Yelich. But 10 strikeouts, a walk, 10 hits allowed by Gray.
101 pitches for John.
Yelich, double, 2-run single, and a strikeout. Good pitch.
Harrison's in a tough role out in that bullpen. You know, the long guy, you could sit for 5, 6, 7 days without seeing the field. But it's such a valuable role. Underappreciated by the majority of fans, not by the guys in the dugout or the manager.
A very underappreciated role, but such a vital role in that you save, even if you're pitching in lopsided games, this isn't lopsided, where your team's down, if you don't have to go to some plus side guys just to get some outs, and then they're fresh the following day or 2 days later when you really need them in a 1 or 2 run game in which you're leading, that's why it's never lost upon the other members of the club.
Yeah, and the managers, the pitching coach, they know, because they've all been at that some point in their career where they've been that guy that's had multiple roles.
I'm trying to think, do we mention that when the Rockies sent out Senzatella, he's gone down to Albuquerque, pitched beautiful baseball.
We did after his first game, and I think that's nice to say about Antonio, that he's, you know, he understands that if he goes down there and pitches, if something happens and they need a guy, that he would be somebody to fill in.
Ball and a strike right now on Jesus Aguilar. 2 outs. Pena's at second, a single. Tyler Saladino, a single. He's at first. Senzatella, 2 starts in Albuquerque. He's given up just 1 run. He struck out 12 in 9 innings.
And just 3 walks.
Dougie just did some quick research. John struck out 10 and allowed 10 hits. It's only the 4th time in club history that a pitcher has done that. 10 or more strikeouts, 10 or more hits. Estacio, not surprisingly, did it a couple of times in '99. Ubaldo did it against the Brewers in 2010. Ubaldo's great season of 2010. He was a National League starter in the All-Star game. Started 15-1 that year.
That first half for Ubaldo, where every night you would think, well, he might throw a no-hitter.
He might throw a no-hitter. That was historically a great first half. And I'm not just talking about the Rockies history. Obviously, it's the best first half ever for a Rockies starter, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a better first half for any pitcher. I mean, he had a 1 ERA, I want to say into June, or pretty close to that.
So what does that equate to if he has a 1 ERA pitching at Coors Field half the time? You know, I'm just trying to say, because guys get dinged because they hit at Coors Field.
Yeah, but it's not often mentioned the other way.
Yeah.
When a guy's putting up a ton of zeros, pitching here half the time. 2-2. And this is also fouled off by Aguilar. Ubaldo's ERA did not go over 2, Huey, until July 3rd. I thought it was into June. I didn't realize it was into July. This ball's well hit to left, and Aguilar has hit a 3-run home run. 7-0 Milwaukee now. His 3rd home run. Fouled off a bunch of pitches, and he finally got one he could barrel. And now the Rockies are really in a ditch.
Jesus golfed this one out. Subaru Supermo gonna reach for it. A high finish. Didn't bury it to that back foot. It just such a strong guy. He didn't even finish his swing. Like, most guys will finish and then the barrel will go way up by their head. He stopped it by his eyes.
Ball 1 on Ryan Braun. Braun trying to avoid the golden sombrero. He was struck out 3 times by Gray.
No, that's 6 earned runs today for John. Those will be 2 of those 3 runs will be tacked to his ERA.
Braun behind 1 and 2. Three-run home run from Aguilar. Rockies in the bottom of the 6th will have the top of the order. So it'll be the 3rd time through against Freddie Peralta.
Only thing that might get Freddie here in the next inning or so is a pitch count. He's at 83 right now. And with the 21-year-old, the council will let him go more than close to 100 pitches.
Hopefully, from the Rockies' perspective, what I'm about to say is not an issue because the Rockies put together a significant rally. But we've seen managers with young pitchers who are throwing no-hitters put themselves in a very difficult situation to keep a kid out there or pull him out. That'll end the inning. A 3-run home run from Aguilar. 7 runs, 11 hits for Milwaukee.
Answer the gates for the Rockies-Reds game on May 26th. Will receive a 25th anniversary season all-time 25 roster t-shirt courtesy of 106.7 The Bull.
Freddie Peralta against DJ LeMahieu. He has struck out DJ twice. That doesn't happen frequently. This kid has 11 strikeouts and is not allowed to hit. Rockies had Walters reach on an error in the third inning with 1 out. And then Gray walked, and with 2 outs, David Dahl walked. So Blackman was up there with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And Charlie grounded out to end that threat. That's it. One ball, 1 strike. Well, the Rockies will try to repay the Brewers. The Brewers climbed back from a 6-run deficit on Friday night, down 9-3. See if the Rockies can find a way to get something going and turn the tables around and
a heartbreaker for them.
Yeah, produce a heartbreaker for them. You're right. 1-2. DJ had a 7-game hitting streak snapped last night. Missed 10 games, of course, with the right hamstring strain.
It's a curveball from Freddie.
Breaking that out third time through, huh? Five home runs this year for LeMahieu, all away from Coors Field. You're mentioning the pitch count for Peralta with this somewhat lengthy at bat now put it together by DJ. He's at 90 pitches after this one. And another strikeout.
They just tied the Brewers record.
Your old friend, Mr. Woodard.
Steve Woodard had the old mark at 12. Now Peralta has 12. 13 for 19 first pitch strikes today. 3 groundouts and a flyout.
Dahl robbed of a hit. That was probably the best opportunity for a hit the Rockies had. That was with 1 out in the first inning. David hit a hard ground ball down the first base line. Jesus Aguilar laid out, trapped it, and was able to feed Peralta covering in front of Dahl. 1-1 on David. So now we enter another category. Who was the last guy to make his major league debut anywhere in baseball and strike out 12 or more? Pretty good name. This is line to center field, and Dahl breaks up the no-hitter with 1 out in the 6th inning.
And a solid base hit too. I mean,
you know, and there's some Brewer fans that are applauding the effort of Peralta.
David gets a changeup. Wanted away. It wasn't. He laced that to right center field.
So 12 starts for David Dahl, and he's got a hit in at least 11 of them. So the last guy to produce 12+ strikeouts in a major league debut was Steven Strasburg with Washington. He struck out 14 back in 2010.
Matt,
I don't want to say there's relief in Craig Counsell's mind. He wanted to see the kid obviously, keep the no-hitter going, but it certainly makes it easier for him. Dave Roberts had the same situation with the fireballer Walker Buehler last week.
Yeah, that's when they had the combined no-hitter for the Dodgers
down in Monterey. Matt Albers has gotten up for Milwaukee.
No, but it does make his decision a lot easier. It'd be hard to go out there. It's the right thing to do because you're thinking about long-term success for the kid, not just today.
And he just indicated to Manny Pena, go out there and talk. It's kind of universal baseball.
Yeah.
Motion.
There's Albers. Real quick, a moment ago for David Dahl, I said it was a changeup. It looked like it had changeup action, but it was 90 miles an hour. So
I was with you because
yeah.
It looked like he had 3 fingers on the baseball.
Exactly,
didn't it?
that's what I was picking up. But then I went back and looked at some numbers, and it was 90 miles an hour on that pitch. Get out.
It will.
Go back to that pitch to David Dahl. And just watch it. See, that's why I thought it was a changeup. Right there. But at 90 miles an hour.
You know what? That's weird. Because that's 3 fingers on the baseball. That's not.
So maybe he just overthrew it.
He must have overthrown his changeup a little bit. Usually, and there are some guys who will throw a changeup that hard, but they're usually those upper 90s guys.
Yeah, that would be at 90.
Incoming, Huey, almost.
Close. That's as close as we've had this year.
Sam Herniason, our longtime and outstanding cameraman up in the booth with us, ducked under his camera. And
trying to hide.
Straight face. He's trying to not laugh right now. Two with 1 out. And strike 3 on Charlie. 13 strikeouts with Nolan coming up.
That is definitely a fastball. Straight on the Subaru Supermo. And it caught plenty of the plate.
Chase Anderson, when he comes off the disabled, is not going to lose his spot in the rotation because he's been really good for Milwaukee. But Craig Counsell's going to keep this kid around for another start. Because when you have a start like this, you don't get sent back out.
Well, maybe he takes Brent Suter's spot that started yesterday on the spot for Wade Miley.
As a fan of athletics and certainly a huge fan of baseball, you got to appreciate, even though it's come at a cost to the Rockies today, what this young man has done in front of mom and dad for the first time in his young professional career. He was outstanding, and that's underselling it. age. Found out last night he's going to make his major league debut. Came up from Colorado Springs, and it was one for the ages. In 5 2/3, no runs, 1 hit. The hit came in the 6th inning from David Dahl. He had a no-hitter going. A couple of walks, and of the 17 outs he recorded, 13 were by strikeout. There were only 4 balls put in play. Strikeouts in a major league debut: J.R. Richard, Carl Spooner with 15, Steven Strasburg 14, Cliff Melton, and then Freddie Peralta.
Interesting to see what the guys say after the ball game, as far as what they weren't saying.
Jolie Chassin congratulating him. What will be neat for that kid is when he goes out in the back hallway by the visiting family room to see mom and dad and other family members after the ball game. I still love the story again that Taylor told, that mom and dad were coming to see him pitch in AAA.
And then when he doesn't go to warm up,
and then they're concerned, right?
Like, when is he sick? Is he hurt? What's going on? Where is he?
Matt Albert's out there. 2-strike count on Nolan. 2 strikeouts for Nolan against Peralta.
You have to go back to somebody that was younger in 2007 when they made their major league debut for the Brewers, and that was Giovanni Gallardo.
Turned out to be
a
very fine pitcher.
He was 21 years, 111 days. And this kid was 21 years, about 330-ish days.
Yeah, think about that. So 11 years ago, and we're just talking about a debut. It's not, this kid's debut was off the charts. $7-0 Milwaukee.
I think today this is the time when you're saying, okay, I'm glad that kid's out of here, and I'll go to their bullpen, even though it's been stout this year.
One, 2, 2-2.
There's some of the numbers on the bullpen, eating up a lot of innings. They are, but the ERA sparkling, the opponent's batting average, saves, and then the bottom one's kind of, in this day and age of having just one guy be the closer, they got 5 guys with at least 1 save.
This is a base hit to the left side. Against Albers, Nolan will reach. 2 on now for Cargo. Cargo, like Nolan, struck out twice against Peralta. And with Nolan getting that hit, he's now reached in 23 straight. He's halfway to the club record. 2013, Cuddy, Michael Kadire reached in 46 consecutive games.
Sigh of relief from Nolan. Finally got a pitch that I saw.
Albers pitched last night, a clean 8th inning for Milwaukee.
A strikeout in that inning through 11 pitches was all.
Inside corner, strike 1. Ball to Aguilar. That'll end the inning. He gets it to Albers. Rockies get their first 2 hits of the game. We are through 6. The Brewers leading 7-0.
And Craig Counsell. He's a man who also has a past with the Colorado Rockies, a part of the original draft class in 1992. He was a part of the first pro ball game played in this organization out in Bend, Oregon, and I was able to talk with him this weekend about his fond memories that he has from being a Rocky.
I mean, it was a really cool time. We were the first Rockies. We came to Denver for a little mini camp before we started, and you could tell we were like the big leaguers at the time, so it was a cool way to be treated for somebody going to you know, rookie short season A-ball, so to speak. So that was probably the most fun, the most fun part of it, and probably my best memory of it.
Now, to bring this all full circle, Paul Egan's, who's now the travel secretary for the Rockies, used to be a scout in this organization, and he was the guy who turned in the original scouting report on Counsell. So I was talking with Counsell today, and we were kind of laughing. He said, I guess I owe it all to Paul Egan's for being drafted. Drew?
Yeah, Paul is a legendary figure in the Rockies organization. He remains their traveling secretary. He's held a number of positions with the Rockies after coming from the Atlanta Braves. One of our favorite people in the world, Eags.
It's top of my list for sure.
Travis Shaw right now with a 2-1 count. Musgrave came on last inning, gave up a 3-run home run to Aguilar. 2 of the runs were charged to John Gray. So Gray's final line, 5 1/3, 6 runs, 10 hits, a walk, and 10 strikeouts.
His ERA climbs about a half a run too. Started at 424, goes up to 485.
Ball to DJ, the short right fielder. So if you're scoring at home, you write 9.5-3 in your book.
With in parentheses a 4.
Right.
Yeah, the creative ways you have to score now with the shifts.
Yeah, sometimes you'll write in the shifts on, and let's say Story's on the right side and he feels it. Well, it's 6-3, but the ball was pulled. Domingo Santana, single, walk, double. thinking of major league debuts from a starter, from a Rockies perspective. You always begin with Jason Jennings, naturally, the shutout at Shea Stadium and the home run to boot. It'd be hard to ever beat that one. But I also think about Mark Brownson and his major league debut down in Houston. And there was a kid where the spotlight was on him very briefly. Did not have an extended big league career, but boy, did he have a night against a great Astros lineup.
That was when all the big boys were playing.
They had the Killer Bees.
Yeah.
Three and one on Domingo Santana. And it was one of those deals. It was kind of an emergency start. Brownson gets brought up, and he was so good, strike two, that he got another opportunity. It was July 21st, 1998. A 4-hit shutout. 7 strikeouts, just 1 walk, 101 pitches to navigate a most difficult Astro lineup. That's base hit up the middle. Santana's been on 4 times now.
He only started 2 games that year. In '98, only had 9 starts in his career.
In his big league career. That's what I mean.
11 games.
And he wouldn't have had a second start in '98. Maybe not have had the other 9 eventually had he not had that one beautiful game.
So he finished 2-2 with the .694 in his career.
And after his first start, he had a zip ERA, so you can always tell that story. VR at the plate. Jonathan is 1 for 3. Yeah, there's Biggio, Bagwell, Berkman, Derek Bell. I think
Derek Bell.
This ball's well hit to right. Cargo going back. Yeah! Good route.
Rockies gift cards are a great gift for all Rockies fans. Gift cards can be purchased in multiple denominations and redeemed for game tickets at Rockies dugout stores or for merchandise and concession at Coors Field. Well, there's a couple other names on that in that game, Drew. Moises Alou played left field. Carl Everett was in center. Ricky Gutierrez at shortstop.
That was
Brad Ausmus catching. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Mike Hampton on the hill.
And Mike Hampton's no slouch at the plate.
He got a hit that day.
He had one of the 4 hits.
Yes, he did. The other one was Ricky Gutierrez and Biggio.
That's one heck of a lineup.
The Astros were 19 games over 500 at the time of that game.
Who was in the Rockies lineup that day?
It was Neffy at short, Burks in center, Walker, Bichette, Castilla, Helton, Lansing, Kurt Manwaring behind the plate.
We had some fellas too, huh? 3-0 on Manny Pena. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, 3 at bats today. Rockies have been out hit 12-2. Outscored 7-0. And a 4-pitch walk. Now 2 on for Saladino. He has swung the bat well, getting a start at shortstop today from Council. A double, a line out that may have been his hardest hit ball of all of them. And Story stabbed, and then a single. His double was a ground rule double. He hit over 400 feet. He's barreled 3 baseballs this afternoon.
Milwaukee, they've had 13 chances with runners in scoring position today, 3 for 13.
It almost doesn't matter what the percentage, unless it's 0. When you have 13 opportunities, I gotta figure you've probably scored a few runs.
Yeah, and that's what last night made it so nice. They had 11 chances last night. They were 0 for 11. But the first 2 games, they were 11 for 22.
That's about all the information you need to determine what the outcome is when a club's hitting 500 with runners in scoring position and have had multiple opportunities. And listen, the Rockies went 2 weeks with their starting rotation where they were lights out. They got a lights out performance yesterday from Kyle Freeland. I'll tell you one other note about Kyle's outing yesterday. The last 7 shutouts for the Rockies at Coors Field, Freeland has started 3 of them.
It's the 8th game this year too that you've had a Rocky starter go 6 or more innings without giving up a run.
Yeah, I saw that stat, and that's really impressive because last year the Rockies an 87 win team and great young rotation, which is obviously still intact. They had only 12 such games last year, and they already have 8. Ooh, that made Ted Barrett flinch.
Ted missed that one, clearly on the Subaru strike zone.
Now we know why he flinched.
Well received by Tony. It splits the plate. You know what? We're human. But you just hope it doesn't hurt you on this pitch.
Nope, they should get a double play here. Well, they don't need one. There's 2 outs. See? You're confusing the old announcer. 7th inning, the Rockies down 7-0. We're going to stick around on this Mother's Day for a rendition of God Bless America. Enjoy, everybody, and once again, happy Mother's Day.
Fans, the Colorado Rockies and Furniture Row are proud to host and honor those who sacrifice on behalf of us all. With us on the field today is Logistics Specialist Second Class Heather Hopkinson. Specialist Hopkinson has been recognized by the Navy for her superior performance and leadership both at home and abroad. Specialist Hopkinson's current assignment is with Rocky Mountain Navy Talent Acquisition Group Denver, where she earned Recruiter of the Year in 2017 and the Navy Commendation Medal. Specialist Hopkinson is joined today by her husband Harry, sons Riley and Hudson, and daughter Harper. Furniture Row and Denver Mattress are proud to present Specialist Hopkinson with a $250 gift certificate in appreciation of her service. Fans, please give a warm hero's welcome to Logistics Specialist Second Class Heather Hopkinson and all our nation's brave servicemen and women and their families. We thank you for your service and sacrifice. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country with the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Air Force Academy Band, is Staff Sergeant Ben Sampson. Please welcome Staff Sergeant Sampson and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
2018, they trail 7-0 as they bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They have 2 hits, and they both came last inning. Freddie Peralta making his major league debut, youngest pitcher to make his major league debut for Milwaukee since 2007. And Giovanni Gallardo was 21 and a few days younger. This kid went 5 2/3, no runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, 13 strikeouts. As the first pitch from Matt Albers is fouled off by Story. Story 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. How about this for Trevor? He's got a big homestand. His last 8 hits, Huey, all extra base hits.
Yeah, some home runs, a triple, doubles.
I think the sun's trying to peek out.
I think it is too.
Maybe that will help out the Rockies offense in this one. Story gone on an inside heater. 1 out. That'll bring up Ian Desmond. Fly ball to right and a ground ball to short. Well, 40 games in for the Rockies. A little comparison this year to last year. Rockies 25-15 a year ago, 22-18 this year. And you know, the noticeable drop off in batting average. Noticeable increase in base running success.
Again, the splits on the home run with the 51, 33 have been hit out on the road. Just 18 at home. There's also 6 less games at home than out on the road.
That's strike 2. Desmond and Dahl, the only 2 in the Rockies lineup not to strike out today.
Yeah, Desmond had the fly ball to the warning track in right field. Pretty sharp ground ball up the middle that was snagged by Saladino.
And Ian Wynn, 2 outs. Bring up Tony Walters. Checked it out down to third. Will Little says that's a swing. Rockies began the day 7-10 at home. 15-8 out on the road. Ultimately, that's a great sign. Not the record at home, but odds are that's going to improve dramatically. Now you go to the West Coast, and you're going to see 3 ballparks that skew heavily toward pitchers typically.
Yeah, San Diego for 2, San Francisco for 4, and LA for 3. I was just looking at that road record. So Boston coming into today was 16-8 out on the road. There's 3 teams with 14 wins. Atlanta's 15-8 out on the road.
Atlanta, one of the big early season surprises. 3-2 on Walters. Atlanta 8 games above 500, leading the NL East by a game over Philadelphia, another somewhat surprising team. Washington's coming on now. This ball hammered to deep right, and Tony's hit his second home run in a week. Hit one last Friday night in New York.
And both of them, no doubters.
Both of them screamed out of the ballpark.
Yeah, they've not been wall scrapers. Subaru Supermo. Belt high, and Tony turns it. I like the way the hand positioning is when that foot gets down in the ground. It's in a good launch position. Didn't get drifted to that front side, and able to slap 5 with Tony Diaz as he rounds first.
Noel Cuevas, the pinch hitter. .418 feet estimated distance.
Well, 3 for 6 pinch hitting on the season.
He has half the club's pinch hits. We noted that the other day.
Well, 0 for 3 last night. Did have a walk in the 4th in the game against Suter.
Tony's starting a new trend because remember he got 318 at bats between home runs, one of the longest stretches in Major League Baseball, and now he's gone 12 at bats between home runs.
I like the 12 at bats per home run.
So does Tony, by the way. Don't even have to ask him.
I'm not going to ask him.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Cuevas. Two on Cuevas. Yeah, we were talking about the difference this year between where the Rockies were 40 games in 10 games over. This year 4 games over. He's still above 500. That's obviously a great thing. But the Rockies are down almost a full run in what they're producing offensively. Last year to this year, or this year to last year, however you want to look at it. 4.9 runs a game last year through the first 40, 4.1 this year. Ground ball deep in the hole, and the throw across from Saladino throws out Cuevas. The Rockies get a marker up on the board. Tony Walters with his second in 9 days. strikeout. It's going to be a tough play for Trevor. Spins, throws, perfect. This is going to be a tough chance for LeMahieu. Stop it! What a play by DJ. Line to left. Oh, caught it. Oh, what a catch by number 8. Some of our plays of the week. Been too many plays today, unfortunately. The Rockies down 7-1 to Milwaukee. With Jeff Houston and Taylor McGregor, I'm Drew Goodman. And hitting now for the Brewers, pinch hitter Hernan Perez, 9-1-2. Brooks Pounders now on the hill for the Rockies. Pounders' first pitch is in there for strike 1. An inning and 2/3 for Musgrave. He gave up a run on 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Perez has started a few times in this series, and he's done damage. 6 for 13, couple of RBIs. 4th appearance for Brooks Pounders.
Last time pitched against the Atlanta Braves. Didn't go too well for Brooks, unfortunately. Gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits in innings pitched. Did I say Atlanta Braves? I don't know what I was thinking. Los Angeles Angels. I had the Braves on the brain from the last half inning when we were talking about it.
That's all right. Every once in a while, the Braves and Angels play. And this ball is going to take a hop, and well, I thought David was. It wouldn't have mattered. I thought David was going to be able to grab it. Couldn't, but not grab it in the air off the hop. It was a double either way.
I think for David too, that's why he did it that way. It wasn't going to matter if he could cut it off. There might be an opportunity to throw to second.
Christian Yelich 2 for 4. A double and a single. 2 RBIs, couple of strikeouts. That's called ball 1. One and two. Pounders with a good pitch strikes out Yelich. 3rd time Yelich is fanned today. 1 out. That'll bring up Jesus Aguilar, who had a 3-run home run in his last at bat.
Talk about the home run for Aguilar on our StatCast, brought to you by Subaru. 96.6 miles an hour off the bat. You see the launch angle at 377 feet. You can see a lot of different things now in dugouts. You see confetti showers. You see when the Cubs do something, they're dancing out in their bullpen.
Strike 1 on Aguilar. Off the plate, 1-1. Brewers head to Phoenix. They're going to play 3 against the Diamondbacks beginning tomorrow. tough assignment tomorrow. They're going to face Patrick Corbin, who's 4-0 with a 212.
Then they get Greinke the second day.
Greinke's coming off a really good performance. Two and two. Came out of his hat. You know who that used to happen to?
Oscar Gamble.
Oscar had too much hair. Didn't happen to Oscar. Did it happen to Oscar?
Yeah. No, Mickey Rivers.
Dave Winfield.
Dave Winfield. Mickey Rivers. I guess Mickey's when he was running. I just remember.
Mickey would knock it off, right? Mookie Wilson would knock his off the helmet. But it was before the flap.
Yeah. Josh Rutledge used to happen a lot when he was running too. His hat would come off.
He had the fancy hair, so you know the flowing blonde locks. 3-2. And a strikeout. For the Rockies, they head to San Diego. It's just a 2-game set. Tyler Anderson and the lefty Joey Lucchesi tomorrow night. German Marquez and Jordan Lyles is now in the rotation, the former Rocky, who's really pitched well out of the bullpen this year for San Diego. He's throwing a curveball now.
That's something he decided to break out when he got to San Diego. But I was just looking at his ERA at 3.28. I'm not sure when the last time Jordan can say he had a 3.28 ERA.
Good news with the Padres. See, they released or designated Chase Headley.
Yeah. If somebody picks up Chase. 12 years in the big leagues. Last couple have been up and down.
I doubt it would be a trade. It would.
Well, they would wait.
They would wait because he's making a big. He's got a large salary.
He's made over $77 million in his career.
Well, he led the league in RBIs for the Padres
at the right time too, when it was his free agency.
At a Fountain, Fort Carson. It's his off-season home now outside of Nashville. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs. Perez still at second. He had a leadoff pinch double. Braun's 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. 2-1 to Ryan. Arizona, the last couple of years, has filled out their rotation with somebody that you go, who's that? And then all of a sudden you're looking and saying, boy, this guy's doing really well. Zach Godley a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Zach Godley still pitching well.
Before that, Josh Colementor.
Colementor, the axe thrower. And this year it is Matt Cook, who's 2-1, but he has a 2.43 ERA. Remember, they lost Taijuan Walker early. He's had Tommy John surgery.
Shelby Miller hasn't come back from Tommy John surgery.
Right, so they had a need, and this young man Cook's come in and done a terrific job. But Washington has had their way with Arizona the last few days. Again, they'll play tonight. Braun fouls that off.
Boogie, Robbie Ray's still out, right? He's not throwing yet.
You know who came back? Big name from the disabled list today, Jacob deGrom, and it didn't go well for him. 1 inning, 45 pitches. Mets lost to the Phillies 4-2. Braun strikes out for the 4th time today, and Pounder strikes out the side after giving up the double to Perez. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 7-1 Milwaukee.
I always had a clean uniform, and at times it was even ironed. My mom, I mean, who does that? But my mom was great. But you know, every time that I left home to go play a game, whether it's Little League, whatever, she always said, "Buddy, have fun and good luck."
Well, Buddy had a lot of fun. He still has a lot of fun. He's still wearing an ironed uniform. And now it's Michael Ponarelli who irons it every day for Buddy.
And he relayed something after that too that we didn't air, that his mom didn't drive. So if she wanted to go see him play, she had to catch a ride with somebody else. So sometimes she just missed a game that he played in because she couldn't get there.
Interesting. Before you could call an Uber, right?
Right. So she would call up sometimes, even when he was down, call up the sports scores or the newspaper where he could get a score of the game.
There's a base hit up the middle. DJ LeMahieu against Dan Jennings to begin the 8th inning.
Remember that when you could do that? Call or get the time or the temperature?
Yeah, there were. I'm trying to think. Yeah, what was the sports? Doug, what was that sports score you could call? You call up to get all the scores.
Yeah, that's how you did things. 20th game of the season for Dan Jennings. Pitched on Friday night. Inning in the 3rd is scoreless. Gave up a couple hits.
There's a weather line.
Uh-huh.
Remember Dial-A-Joke also?
Kids today don't understand the hardships we had to do to find out some sports scores.
No, you know what all kids know these days? And half the guys in the big leagues, maybe more than half, Fortnite. That's what they know.
That's what they know. Fortnite.
That's a good pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike on Dahl, who broke up Freddie Peralta's no-hitter with a 1-out single to right center field in the 6th inning. Peralta, the story of the day, 21-year-old major league debut, 5 2/3, no runs, 1 hit, couple walks, 13 strikeouts. This ball's hit well to center field by Dahl. So well, it's going to land out by the fountains. 2-run home run. Starting to get a little interesting. 7-3 for Dahl, his 2nd of the year. And the great thing about that, number 1, he hit it out. Number 2, left on left.
Yep, left-hander State. Get that right shoulder in, the front lead shoulder. We started this in the 6th inning by breaking up the no-hitter. Now on the Subaru Supermo, gets the slider. It does not miss it. Hits it over the wall at dead center field for his 2nd home run, his 7th RBI for David.
Psychologically, Huey, it was 7-1 a moment ago. Now there's still 6 outs to work with offensively. You're within 4. Dugout feels different, doesn't it?
It does, and all you have to do is think back to 2 nights ago when you were on the other side of this saying, all right, guys, they came back against us. Let's have a little payback time.
And that's a hot shot that's going to eat up the shortstop Saladino. A base hit for Blackman. 3 bullets to begin the 8th inning for the Rockies against Dan Jennings.
And they cannot get Jeremy Jeffress up fast enough out in their bullpen. This is a rocket. Saladino, all he can do is try to fight it and knock it down. 98 miles an hour off the bat and a base hit for Charlie. There's going to be the slow walk from the pitching coach, Derek Johnson.
Well, Jeffress has been their setup guy extraordinaire. He and Hader. Hader's close games. They've done it by committee in the 9th inning, but Jeffress has been unscored upon in 20 out of 21. This is, they might as well have a cup of coffee out there, because that's all this is about. David Dahl, one more note on David. Started the year 0 for 15 left on left, and he can hit lefties. He has throughout his minor league career. In 2016, when he had those wonderful couple of months, he hit everybody. He's 3 for his last 3 against lefties, including that 430-foot home run.
Crowd trying to get into it too.
Well, if they give him Nolan, you'd think they'll give him one more because Cargo is on deck. Another left-handed hitter. Nolan a single in the 6th inning. Pulled one through the left side. Pop up on the right side. And it's VR making the catch.
Right fielder, number 5, Carlos Gonzalez.
Couple home runs now in the game for the Rockies. Walters and Dahl all in the last 2 innings. Lefty's an issue the last couple of years for Cargo. So on the graphic, just 188 so far this year.
Two of the 4 guys that Jennings has faced this inning have been left-handed. One with a home run, the other with a sharp single in Charlie.
Big swing, no baseball, 0-2. Blackman at first after his sharp single. Ball and 2 strikes. Huey, Dodgers losing again to the Reds. Reds has won 5 in a row. Signs of the big red machine of 75. not quite.
No, it's not conjuring up any memories of that team.
5-2 in the 7th. Cargo. I'll get him at first. Charlie to second. 2 outs. Now Story's not going to get the lefty Jennings. There's just no way. Here comes Counsell.
He's going to get the right-hander Jeffress.
Craig Counsell saw enough of him hitting Brett Suter from the left side last night. So we're going to pause here. 2 runs in the inning in on a David Dahl home run. 7-3 with 2 outs in the 8th.
Go to the stat cast of his home run. Again, brought to you by Subaru. 431 feet, the launch angle 26 degrees, and the exit velo 102.8 miles an hour for David Dahl. Second home run, 7th RBI. Trevor's going to get the right-hander, Jeremy Jeffress. Another reason why manager Craig Counsell brought Jeffress in is he's working on 17 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings. That's the most among National League relievers.
The league's hitting 127 against Jeffress, and you think, oh man, that's got to lead the team. It doesn't, because against Josh Hader, they're hitting 168, or excuse me, 068. Story today, 3 strikeouts. Blackman at second. Colorado has been out hit 13-6 in this ball game. Fouled off.
This appearance number 201 for Jeffress in a Brewers uniform. 3rd time around wearing a uniform for the Brewers.
He just keeps one in his luggage. Even when he was with Texas, wherever he was, he had the Brewer uniform just in case.
Like Superman underneath it.
Yep. One and two. I thought about, remember I mentioned it about Jeffress, his, his reputation, great teammate. You know who clued us in on that? Jonathan Lucroy.
That's right.
Played with him in Milwaukee, played with him in Texas. 1-2. Jonathan, a big fan of Jeremy. Lucroy now the mostly everyday catcher for the Oakland A's. Speaking of former Rockies catchers, Nick Hundley hit his 4th home run today for the Giants. Outside, 3-2. Giants shut out the Pirates behind Derek Holland 5-0 today in Pittsburgh. Rockies trying to climb back. They spotted the Brew Crew a 7-0 lead. Still alive.
Keep fighting those pitches off, Trevor. Like they want a fastball.
And a walk. And now 2 on for Desmond. You know, we were talking about the averages for the Rockies being down almost 30 points, the batting average from a year ago through 40 games. This is true throughout baseball. I mean, it's down significantly. Last year, it was 255. That was the major league average. I looked at the National League average right now is 241.
Really?
241.
That's a big drop.
Desmond, a fly ball to deep right. Sharp ground ball to short and a strikeout. Slugging percentage has gone down from 426 to 407.
I thought that might have gone up with home runs. Still, I think that's what this game is now. It's a lot of swing for the fences and see what happens. But the other thing is all the power arms coming out of the bullpen. I think that's another factor.
That's an enormous factor. That's on the corner. Maybe.
Maybe.
1-2.
I know Ian didn't like it. This will give us a clear view of it. Right on the black, if anything.
Good pitcher's pitch. 1-2.
That's where Jeffress likes to go too, because he stands on the first base side of the rubber. So he's more comfortable throwing to his glove side. So where's that going to be to a right-handed hitter? That's going to be outside. And you can see there's the rubber, and where he's standing really has a couple cleats on it.
American League average a little bit better, 250, but it should be better because they have an extra hitter in their lineup with the DH. Back up the middle. Getting to the bag is Saladino in front of Trevor Story. That'll end the threat. The Rockies do get 2 runs on a 2-run home run to dead center by David Dahl. We'll go to the 9th, 7-3 Milwaukee.
Playing a little karaoke in the break. I won't subject our audience to that one today. Mothers that are Rockies fans might not be going home happy today. Facing a major league debut. That's a lot of punch-outs for the kid.
The kid did have a lot of punch-outs. Fastball had a lot of late life, surprising the Rockies hitters. 29 Ks in total. We're going to call it the day of the K.
Hey, Drew, have you ever taken a midnight train going anywhere?
Taking a midnight train to San Diego tonight. You guys are a bunch of cowards out there because I can't.
Were you ready to go?
You know I cannot sing a lick. Not a lick,
no.
Right? But I thought we should all come back and do Journey.
And now the song's off.
Because it brightens up a gloomy day, doesn't it always?
It was a fail. Next homestand. We got next homestand, Drew.
Yeah, you guys were rocking it out there, by the way.
Jenny was good. Corey was. Jenny was like a B+. I'll give Corey a B. Huey, I'll give you a C.
What are you going to give yourself?
Generous, thank you.
Right.
I'll take it.
And I get an F minus.
No, you get an A because you stayed quiet.
Yep. C's get degrees.
I didn't have to. I messed up a line in there too. Dougie gave everybody a thumbs down because he's the musical snob among us. Brooks Pounders misses there. 2-1.
Brooks did a nice job that 8th inning. Gave up the leadoff double to the pinch hitter Perez, and then struck out Yelich, Aguilar, and Braun.
Travis Shaw, home run in the 3rd. He's had a big impact on this series. Speaking of big, how about the Mother's Day crowd here at Coors Field, battling chilly temperatures and overcast skies. 40,453.
Last night it was 35, almost 35 and a half.
Strike.
The night before is 36,000. The first night on a Thursday night, school night, still 31,000. So thank you to the Rockies fans. So faithful and loyal. Thank you.
Strumming the guitar to Journey right now. 3-2. Was that off the foot? Yeah, I get evidently. Travis Shaw is electing to not run. You can't fake that.
No, you can't think that fast.
No.
Barely caught it, the toe. Last night, Ionetta did that twice in one at bat.
Fortunately. I got a baseball. I got a baseball.
Do you think he thought he was going to get one when he sat in those seats 3 hours ago?
No. Another 3-2's fouled off. So if you did do karaoke, would you have a go-to song that you could reasonably get through without offending the population of the club you were in?
I'm not invited to karaoke now.
Even if I was invited, I don't know if I would have the
See, that's
courage
right.
to go up there. I was really proud of my kids. We were on vacation, and they all did karaoke one night.
Good for them. Putting themselves out there.
Voice a little better than Dad. Shaw, ground ball to DJ.
Fans, trust your gut, pick the right player, and get one step closer to winning $5.6 million. You can download Beat the Streak today in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS and beat the streak.
Domingo Santana has a streak going in this game. He's been up 4 times and he's reached all 4 times. Single, walk, double, single. To start in right field this afternoon. 7-3, Milwaukee leading, 1 out in the 9th inning. Brooks Pounders. 2nd inning of work. Strike 1. Round baseball. Some scores to note: the Red Sox at Rogers Center beat the Blue Jays to improve to 28-12, 5-3. JD Martinez hitting like he's still at Chase Field. He hit his 10th home run today. Braves win again. 24-15 are the Braves. They won in South Florida 4-3.
Newcomb 4-1 on the year with a .251.
Ciarte another home run. Not that he's got a lot, but every once in a while.
It's 3.
Corey Kluber and the Indians beat the Royals 11-2. Jose Ramirez is 12th for Cleveland, the All-Star third baseman. 2-1. Center field. Blackman makes the catch, and that'll bring up Jonathan Villar. Tigers beat the Mariners 5-4, and
that's not
it was doubly bad news for Seattle.
Yeah, Robinson Cano was hit on the hand. Broken 5th metacarpal bone in his hand. Surgery is possible, so it was a double whammy for Seattle today.
Which means the Rockies may not see, depending on how quick the recovery is, see Robbie Cano when they play Seattle. Be there in July. That's a possibility. It's still a couple months away. Early July.
Well, we see him in a matter of twice in about 10-12 days.
Because they come back right before
Friday,
the All-Star break.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday before the All-Star break.
1-1 on VR. Ball and 2 strikes.
Well, whatever happens in the bottom of the 9th inning, you hope it's a big rally. I think a lot of what's going to happen on this road trip is going to be in thanks to Harrison Musgrave and Brooks Pounders.
They did a nice job eating up a few innings today. John Gray went 5 1/3, 6 runs on 10 hits, a walk, and 10 strikeouts. So, you know, he was missing bats, but he also gave up some big hits.
Yeah, odd line, not much rhythm today either for John. But Harrison Musgrave inning and 2/3, and then Brooks is going to give you 2.
He gets VR, so with 2 outs, VR will go to first. It'll bring up the catcher, Manny Pena.
They just yanked this pitch. Pulled a little too much, catches VR in the back of the right leg.
Pena 2 singles and a walk today, 2 for 3 officially.
VR was attempting to steal, but with the foul ball, he's got to go back. Manny Pena. That is average over 200 now. It's 205. Came in hitting 167.
That's a strike. 1-2. I think VR would take off again here.
I think so.
If you're wondering at home, this is not bad form. It's a 4-run game. It's Coors Field, so there's nothing unethical about this at all.
And you're holding him on.
VR was the 3rd Brewer ever to steal 60-plus bases. We were discussing that earlier. 62 in 2016. The other 2, Tommy Harper back in '69. He stole 73. Scott Podsednik, former Rocky, stole 70 in 04.
I was fortunate to have Tommy Harper as a base running instructor when I was with Montreal. But listen to him talk about base stealing. Yeah, I mean, he was fast, but he also studied a lot like Davey Lopes that I've talked about when I was with the Rangers.
I think in recent years, Davey Lopes has been looked upon as the master of reading moves.
Yes. Picking up subtleties of a pitcher.
Base running, base stealing is hard on the body. Just ask Jonathan VR now. He's dove back 3 times. Chest, thighs, ribs. He gets a good lead. Not going, and it doesn't matter. Strikeout by Pounders. Good job by Brooks Pounders. 2 scoreless innings. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Rockies trail 7-3. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By UC Health, live extraordinary. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies trailing 7-3. People moving quickly everywhere you look. Rockies like to move quickly around the bases against Corey Knebel here in the bottom half of inning number 9. Tony Walters will lead it off, and a closer look at the 26-year-old Knebel on the mound.
Corey just came off the DL a few nights ago against the Rockies. He had been on there with a hamstring strain that he did early in the season. 1 for 2 in save opportunities. This guy's nasty when he's right.
First pitch in there, 96 for a strike. For the former Longhorn, Texas kid through and through, born in Denton, Texas, north of Dallas. For 3 years, he was the closer for the Longhorns. On 1 hop to Aguilar, 1 out. Gerardo Parra is going to pinch hit. Who wants tacos? Fans, follow us at AT Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 runs or more in a game.
Those college seasons are starting to wind down. Pretty soon you'll have the conference championships, and then the regionals, super regionals, and then Omaha. And in between some of that, the draft.
The draft's a little more than a month away. I know Jeff Bridich has been traveling around the country with Danny Montgomery, Mike Erickson. And whose scouting staff headed up by Billy Schmidt.
Mark Gustafson.
Yeah, Gus is, I mean,
you name it, they're all traveling right now.
This time of year, it is a frenzy. Damon Ionelli. 1 ball, 1 strike on Parra. 1-2. Ooh, I haven't seen pink eye black before. Every year there's something new. Today I've noticed pink belts. I don't remember seeing them in the past.
No.
The pink mask for Ted Barrett, the home plate umpire. Parra's pink eye black. Can you call it? He's wearing eye pink.
Eye pink, that's how you have to say it. It's not, because it would be, yeah, it just wouldn't sound right if you're saying eye black if it's pink.
Somewhat of an oxymoron, right?
Yes.
One, 2. Heavy fastball at 97, misses. And a little punch fly ball to center field. And that is the 2nd out. That'll bring up LeMahieu. DJ 1 for 4 today. He started a little run last inning. He singled, Dahl homered to make it 7-3, and then Charlie Blackmon hit a blistering ball off the shortstop Saladino for a hit. And you're thinking, who knows?
That's right.
This inning may ultimately produce, but that was basically the end of it. This is to second, and that's the ball game. The Rockies fall 7-3 on Mother's Day, and a disappointing week at home. They go 2-4. They drop 3 of 4 against Milwaukee. The story of the day again, Freddie Peralta, the 21-year-old from the Dominican Republic, with his parents in attendance, seeing him play as a professional for the first time. And in his big league debut, went 5 2/3. He had a no-hitter into the 6th inning. He ultimately allowed 1 hit, 2 walks, and he struck out 13. He gets his first major league victory in his first try. Jonathan Gray went 5+, and he falls to 4-5 on the season. Time to go to center field. Here's Jenny and Corey.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. Never thought I'd say this, but I guess we're glad the Rockies are going on the road.
Yeah, 7-11 at home in their first 18 games. This is not the Rockies we're used to, but that's okay. Going out on the road's a good thing where they've been playing good baseball.
Yeah, we'll talk about home woes and Mother's Day gifts. One Rocky did have one for his mom. We'll show you that in the Toyota postgame show.